Hello, guys. Welcome to a big edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. This is an all-exciting edition here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It is update of Chelsea's in-depth forensic analysis of the game against Middlesbrough. That's going to go on tomorrow at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are just a goal down against Middlesbrough. They need to get a win to stand any chance of qualifying to the Carabao Cup final. They've been calling a lot of players who had gone on loan. Cesare Casadre, Andre Santos. Of course, there has been Diego Moreira, who has also been called back to Chelsea Football Club. Yes, it's important that Chelsea will use the players that they have on loan to come and augment the squad, given the kind of injuries that they've had in recent times. And Pochettino has been in his pre-match press conference. We'll analyze the things that he said. We'll do the proper pre-match analysis of the game. We'll analyze the game of football properly. Then we'll talk about other things as well. There are a lot of stuff on the market in terms of the football market to discuss, like Newcastle and the fact that Trippier and then Eric Dyer are on their way to go to join Bayern. In fact, Eric Dyer already is a Bayern player, stands now in there, has joined Harry Kane. But Trippier is almost going over there, and some Bayern legends have issues about Trippier joining FC Bayern Munich. They think that these are not players that will improve the quality of FC Bayern Munich. Thomas Tuchel is under lots of pressure because he lost yesterday against Werder Bremen. It's been a long time since Bayern lost against Werder Bremen, and it's a game that you expect that Bayern should have gotten all 3 points. They weren't able to do that. But there's also breaking news in Italy, because there is Jose Mourinho who is staying put in the Serie A after being sacked by AS Roma. Reports are that via Gianluca Di Marzio that Napoli's Aurelio De Laurentiis has been in contact with Jose Mourinho, and the stuff is simple: get Jose Mourinho to stay in Serie A, and then for him to be the manager of SSC Napoli. Mind you, this is a manager that loves and adores Victor Osimhen. Will he be able to keep Osimhen in Napoli by the summer if he stays there? This is a manager that has big love for Kvaratskhelia in the Italian Serie A, and then the fact that Napoli themselves aren't in a good side. It is everything that we are going to break down here for you. There's a story of Thomas Tuchel. Saudi Arabian players are leaving Saudi Arabia. They want to go back to their club. The most recent one is Serge Milinkovic-Savic. He met his teammates in a Saudi airport in Riyadh, and he told them that he wants to return to Lazio. Guys, thank you very much. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. If you're not subscribed to the channel, pause here, go back, subscribe to the channel. I want to hear from you. Yes, we will of course also talk about African Cup of Nations and the chances of Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and then of course other teams in Group A and B. We'll preview those games for you. Stick and stay, don't go anywhere. Let's get into the juice now. Hey, so let's start the conversation. Let's get into the conversation now. Everything that we want to talk about here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. First off, let's make a quick stop at African Cup of Nations in La Côte d'Ivoire. So in La Côte d'Ivoire currently, today, the final group matches are going to go on for Group A and Group B. It is mouth-watering because the host nation, La Côte d'Ivoire, is in some sort of a tight corner. They are playing against Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea are the leaders of Group A. They are in 4 points. Ivory Coast have 3 points in their group plus 1 goal difference. They need to get something against the team that is called Equatorial Guinea, else their chances of qualifying to the next day of the competition would be very, 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 very slim. They need to get something out of this game against the Equatorial Guinea. They need to get something. They need to navigate at least a draw against Equatorial Guinea. If they're able to win, then that puts them in a very, very good position, because hey, they are going to probably go in there as the second place team in their group, depending on what happens to Nigeria in the Guinea-Bissau game. So that's it in there. I hear that now in La Côte d'Ivoire, everywhere is tense. The Ivorian team wants to win. The France and Ivory Coast want to win. Abidjan is up on its knees, hoping that they get an all-important win. The reason is simple. Tonight at the Al Hassani Olympic Ouattara Stadium, they need to get that all-important win to get a job done. Mohamed Salah was almost called back by Liverpool. But hey, the Egyptian FA has rescinded that decision. Mohamed is going to be with his team and make sure he stays with them as far as they can go in the African Cup of Nations. So Jurgen Klopp said yesterday, he alluded to the fact that maybe it would be right for the Liverpool medics to have a look in at Mohamed Salah, but they are feeling like, okay, at the end of the day, they have to get the go ahead from the Egyptian FA. The Egyptian FA decided not to give them that go ahead. Mohamed Salah is going to stay at the African Cup of Nations, and he's going to stay there as long as Egypt are going to be in there. So, but yeah, they have a big game tonight at 8 p.m. GMT. Big game against Cape Verde. Cape Verde have already qualified. They have 6 points. Nothing is going to stop them from qualifying to the next round of the competition. But the big one is the fact that they have a say in every other thing that goes on in the group. If they're able to beat Egypt, then Ghana stands a chance of qualifying. If they don't beat Egypt and Egypt gets even a draw or win, then Ghana's chances are in their own hands, and of course that of Egypt. So it's a big one. Ghana is playing against Mozambique. Mozambique are bottom of that group just via goal difference compared to Ghana. They stand Egypt in the first game. They are confident of winning this game. The Ghanaians have said that, hey, this is a big game for us as well, and we want to go on and get a job done. So we will do everything humanly possible to win the game. So tonight, there are crunch games in the African Cup of Nations in Group A and Group B. Like Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana are all up against one another in the group, and all of them wants to qualify the next year of the competition. You don't want to miss that for anything in the world. Before we preview the Chelsea game, if you've not subscribed to the channel, like I always tell you, it is time and it's imperative that you go back and subscribe to the channel. I need you to do that. I played with you. Go back, pause, subscribe to the channel. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you've not subscribed, subscribe and turn on notification. I want to hear from you also in the comment section. Who is qualifying tonight? Are Ghana qualifying? Is Nigeria going to qualify? Is there going to be a last minute issue that's going to go on like we saw in the World Cup? Will the host nation will they suffer a huge blow in terms of their qualification? Let me hear from you in the comment section. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Just before the Chelsea preview of the game against Middlesbrough, let's go straight into stories from the Italian Serie A. Jose Mourinho is going back to the Italian Serie A. So, you know, Mourinho was sacked. I mean, not sacked. He by virtue of mutual agreement, both of them decided to part ways. Roma and then, of course, Jose Mourinho. Roma is going his way. Jose Mourinho is going his way. There were a lot of reports that Mourinho is going to go to the Saudi Pro League, but Mourinho has decided against going anywhere in Saudi Arabia, and he's not going to go into the Saudi Pro League. He's going to stay in the Italian Serie A. And this is just simple. Mourinho's agent has contacted Aurelio De Laurentiis. You know, Aurelio had alluded to the fact that post Luciano Spalletti, the coaching appointment that he had done with Rudy Garcia and now Wata Mazzari wasn't the best one to do. And he wants to right those wrongs. And in writing those wrongs, he feels that it is time for him to get a new coach. And Wata Mazzari may not be the man to take Napoli where, with respect to his vision, right? So he wants a coach that is a proven winner, that's a consistent winner, somebody that can win with this Neapolitan team. And it is in this regard that he had already expressed interest in Jose Mourinho. He had conversations with him prior. In January, I have spoken to him. There is another crunch meeting that's going to go on this weekend between Jose Mourinho, Aurelio De Laurentiis, and then his agent. The plan is simple. They want to keep him in the Italian Serie A. They want to make sure that he's the new manager of Napoli. I've told you before, Victor Osimhen, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, these are all players that Mauricio Pochettino, Jose Mourinho adores so much. He feels that these are top prospects. These are prospects that can help him research himself into the Italian and the European scene again. Even at his age, he wants to win. And in winning, he wants to do that in the new. But I mean, it is a city that he adores. I remember when Napoli played Roma in his first time when he returned to Italy. And then he decided to go back to go and visit Diego Armando Maradona and where he used to be when he played for Napoli. And he went in there. There was this poignant mood, poignant sort of picture that was cast at the time when Jose Mourinho went there, and it was beautiful stuff. He loves emotional teams. He loves teams that he can exploit their emotion to win things. And for a traditional club like Napoli, one that the Neapolitans love, they see it as a part of their own, they fight with their blood. Mourinho can stand on those things, the emotions and everything in Naples to push the club to win some stuff and to get the players to play some exciting stuff. And the Napoli team is an exciting team. There's Stanislav Lobotka in the middle of the park. There is Anguissa in the middle of the park. These are the kind of players, brute, aggressive, combative guys that Mourinho can use to get a job done. So it looks as if Mourinho may end up staying put in the Italian Serie A, but we'll wait to see how it goes. The discussion is going to go on for a while, and then we'll see if Mourinho is going to be in the Italian Serie A. That's why, guys, if you've not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to go back and subscribe to the channel, because yeah, of course, this is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and I'm consistent and happy to have you here. So in the German Bundesliga, Bayern are looking at augmenting. I mean, they wanted to get Nodi Mokwele. Mokwele looks like he's not going to get to Bayern. And all of a sudden, they're looking at Trippier to come into the team. And this is so Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel doesn't really fancy young players like that. Tuchel loves the experienced, hungry players that he can push to fight for him. For him, young players are a little bit pampered these days, and they don't really get you results. But Bayern's legends sort of disagree that Thomas Tuchel should not go for players like that. So we'll see how Trippier goes on. Who's going to be there? Newcastle needs to raise money, so they're looking at selling some of their old players, like of course Callum Wilson, who AC Milan inquired about. But then I'm getting reports today that Callum Wilson is not going to go to AC Milan. He's going to stay put. He's up for a loan. There's Kieran Trippier also there for them. They are not willing to sell their young players and their star players and the Shaq and the likes because of FPP. It's a tough time for the club in the northern side of England, so they want to do something about stuff like that in there. And finally, let us preview that game. So today, Mauricio Pochettino has met the press in a pre-match press conference ahead of Middlesbrough. You remember in that game, the first game that Chelsea played against Middlesbrough was a 1-1 draw. Chelsea played some good stuff, dominated the pace of the game for a large part until Middlesbrough got a goal, and they asked Chelsea to come and break them down. Something that was very difficult for the blue team to do. Went close, never got a goal. Michael Carrick's side at Riverside won by a goal to 0, and they are bringing it to the Stamford Bridge. It's an important game. With respect to injuries, Pochettino has spoken about the likes of Nkunku, who are still injured. He spoke about Rhys James, who's still undergoing rehabilitation. Same for Fofana, same for Sanchez, same for Romeo Lavia, Leslie Gochuku, and then of course Marco Correa. Now it is because of the injuries of Romeo Lavia and then Leslie Gochuku. That's why Chelsea have recalled Cesare Casadere back into the team from Leicester City. The plan is simple. It looks as if Gochuku is going to be out for a very long time. It looks as if Lavia may spend quite a number of time also on the sidelines. So Chelsea needs Cesar. Cesar in preseason was excellent for Pochettino. I mean, he's the kind of player that can play as an 8, can play as a 6. He is more of a little bit of everything. Also, if you need outlet in terms of height up front, Cesar Casadere can give you that up front. And he's a player that also thrived under Enzo Maresca at Leicester City. So you see a player like this and consistently you believe that he can get a job done. And Chelsea have called him in. They believe that he can augment the squad. They've also scored Diego Moreira as well to help deepen the quality that Chelsea have in attack and in the width as well. Now, if you watch this game, Michael Carrick came in a 3-back in the first game at Riverside. He wanted to stay in the game as long as possible. And I think that's exactly how they're going to play again this time at Stamford Bridge. They have the lead. For 90 minutes, they will allow Chelsea to come at them and try and break them down. Something that's going to be very difficult because Chelsea has the history of finding it difficult to break down teams, especially in a low block. And they are going to vary it. They will vary the tactics. There are times where they are going to press with Fisher. They are going to be very aggressive. And they are going to make it, especially overloading the other side. Again, there is Malo Gusto, who is injured. And I think that for him, he is a natural outlet for Chelsea at the right-hand side. He's injured. He's not going to play. So it affects Chelsea a lot in terms of build-up and even chance creation on the right-hand side. Again, especially given the fact that Rhys James is out, Benjamin Chilwell can get back into the team and Chelsea will get some weight on the left-hand side. Maybe Levi Cole will not play as the left back again. There's going to be Benjamin Chilwell. Then you have the tilt dimension changing on the other side. Chelsea needs width in breaking out a team like Middlesbrough, especially when they're playing at home. They will have loads on the ball. But it's about breaking the line centrally and then getting to them in the middle of the park through central areas. If Chelsea tries consistently to just go around the block, it may not yield results. Sometimes they need to force the issue through central areas. Of course, we're expecting as Enzo Fernandez and then Moises Caicedo are going to be in the middle of the park as the two midfielders for Chelsea. Of course, up top, Armando Broja, we hear that doesn't look like he's going to leave Chelsea just yet. They are offers, but it looks as if Chelsea are not going to lose him just yet. Wait to see how that goes. So, Middlesbrough in the last game that they played against Rotterdam, they drew 1-1. They scored, but hey, it's a game that if you look at how they played, Chelsea easily can get a better of Middlesbrough. They went into the last game with Clark, Fry, Luke Ayling, Van der Beek, Glover, and then of course they had Barlesa, Hawson, Engel, Rogers, Jones, and then Force up front. Force scored that goal. Chelsea just need to be very compact without the ball, stay in the game as long as possible, and they can get a job done. It's a game that you know that regardless of everything that Chelsea are doing, they need to get a win. But hey, Middlesbrough will make it very difficult for Chelsea. Very difficult with and without the ball. Sometimes they'll press, sometimes they sit at the back, sometimes they'll go long, sometimes they'll go very short. We'll try and break down Chelsea, force the issue by getting some fouls, wind down the clock. It's going to be the age-old Italian Catenaccio, but then winding down the clock in the midst of all of those stuff as well. It's something that's going to be a little bit difficult, but I trust that Chelsea should be able to get a job done in that game against Middlesbrough. Guys, this is where I draw the curtains. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to the channel,